YouTube, how we doing? Pass the prop back here yet again. Time to get after it with a college basketball NBA slate. Joined as always, Stu. What's happening, man?
Nothing much. Just a kind of solid midweight week, boring slate. A couple NBA games, nothing special. Some back-to-backs. Not the greatest slate in the world. I feel like in past years, Pass the Prop is like lined up with like good slates, but Monday, Wednesdays are the shittiest days like every week for NBA now, unfortunately, which is kind of a bummer for the show at least. But it is what it is. Still got a couple games, still got something to work with here, so can't complain too much.
Honestly, I thought you'd love this slate, man. I thought you'd really like this slate. I mean, you got the tank teams in action, getting to roll with Utah on that slate, Memphis on that slate, 240 totals in some of those, and you got the one seeds or not the one seeds, but Knicks and OKC. I got my Bucks playing tonight. I'm like, damn, dude, they actually kind of set us up here a little bit outside of the Pacers because I don't even think that they're an actual franchise anymore.
Yeah, it's just like OKC Knicks is the back-to-back game. So I guess SGA coming back is interesting, but we don't know really minutes, and obviously like the bigs, maybe Chet and Hardenstein, like it's kind of, they've been on and off on back-to-backs and stuff this year. I know Hardenstein will play. I assume Chet will. He's young enough. They should be doing that. But yeah, like Jazz are tough right now, with George back especially. Like everyone just gets 22 minutes a game essentially. Same with the Grizzlies. They're both in that kind of lane where like people don't like stand out and get as guaranteed minutes, which makes it a little bit trickier. The fucking 76ers are a shit show. Fucking Kelly Oubre is lined at 17.5 points. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing Maxey at 34 points. And then I'm definitely not betting on, Barlow or whatever. So it's like that game's kind of a wash, like out of the, the thing already. And then for Grizzlies, we don't really know who's going to play for the Grizzlies until about 20 minutes before the game every day, which makes it a little impossible. And then my boy Denny also has been enjoying the sidelines recently, so we don't know if he's soon up. So just a lot of back and forth. I think Giannis back is definitely interesting, and that makes that a little bit trickier. But that should be a pretty solid game.
Yeah, no, it's tough because I feel like a lot more people getting healthy. If you want to use the Hawks one there too, it's just that should be an interesting game with me. I'm probably going to have to take a long shot in that game with Jalen Johnson triple-double for sure. Absolutely. He's from like 10 minutes from where I live, about 25 minutes from Fiserv. Obviously went to a different school his last year because he was too fucking good to be playing there anymore. And he was kind of just killing everybody. But yeah, I think it's funny. It's I think that'll be a one I definitely have to roll with there.
No, I like Johnson triple-double anytime there's good like rim protection, because he's still not a jump shooter. It's all transition and like at the rim. So when you got the Bucks, you got Giannis back, you got Turner down there. It's like, yeah, it's just not going to be a good score matchup for him. So definitely like that. Like the assist. I see it's 7.5 plus money for Johnson. That seems like a good look to me, honestly. Although maybe it's because they've been messing around with the lineups and stuff, and like CJ
a lot more Dyson Daniels
and Daniels.
Dyson Daniels.
Dyson Daniels fucking sucks, by the way.
He's like, bad. Yeah, offensively he is just a fucking liability. But yeah,
I'm very pro like these defensive guys that can't shoot. Like I root for him, so in that sense, like I will root for Dyson Daniels, but like I feel like Hawks fans don't understand what they've got on their hands. Like this is like, just because he had a bunch of steals last year does not mean this is like a building block for you guys. Like he is an extremely flawed player right now. He kind of reminds me of a Bilal over in Washington, where it's like, yeah, the defense part is good, but you got to be able to do something else in the modern NBA to be able to stay out there. So, I do not like watching Dyson Daniels play at all.
I feel like you guys. He's starting to kind of figure it out a little bit more, but he doesn't really need to shoot, right? I mean, you guys have like an unbelievable amount of just dudes that can just spot up and shoot on that team over there in Washington. So I guess just do what you're good at, I guess.
It's just bad for spacing, though, like especially next year when we're looking at like if AD and Sarr are starting at the 4 and 5, right? Then it's like you can't have another non-shooter on the court, really. like unless you want Sarr to be like a spot up shooter, which he's not really. So I don't know. That's why I'm concerned. Like that's the big debate in the Washington world. It's like who's playing the 2 next year? You know, who's playing next to Trey? Because Trey Johnson is like awful defender. So it's really hard to make him and Trey Young be a backcourt when every guard is dropping 35 against him every game. So it's like, in my opinion, it's kind of got to be Bilal, but like, damn, then that spacing gets really ugly on offense. So, you know, hopefully we can send him just like my boy Denny, send him to fucking that shooting coach. I forget his name. Not Lethal Shooter. He's the white dude. I forget his name, but you know, we need Bilal to get the best shooting coach in the world out here. And hopefully he can get up to like 33% from 3 or 35 or something, at least something respectable, you know?
I mean, that would be pretty damn good if he could get you up there. If that guy can get you to that spot, you're going to be paying him some big boy bucks for that. But yeah, let's talk this slate, Stu. I know you got a long shot here. I'm going to I'll be doing obviously Jalen Johnson triple-double for me. But anything you want to talk about about this slate before we kind of get into your long shot?
Let's see. I mean, not really. I mean, kind of did a little quick recap. I guess the one we didn't talk about, Hornets Celtics, should be good. Like, that's going to be a good game as well. Once again, Hornets on a back-to-back is a little scary for me. LaMelo, they've been kind of managing his minutes all year. So you'd think they'd let him go a little bit more today because it's an important game, but like that's always kind of in the back of my mind. But the interesting thing is, right, the Celtics were like a catch and shoot funnel for a lot of the season. They'd kind of leave like bad shooters or like mid-tier shooters open. Recently though, since the trade deadline, essentially they got Vucevic and all that stuff, like they've actually been really good against catch and shoot. They've kind of switched that up a little bit. So you got 2 really good defenses playing each other. So I know like people are going to want to jump to the overs in this game, but I don't know. This seems like an unders kind of game to me personally. And I was looking at Keita, who's been very good as a center, kind of coming out of nowhere this year and becoming their starting center. You know, he could be a solid under, I think, with just the rim protection that the Hornets have now with like Diabate. I don't say Diabate under. I like both of them. I think they're both going to kind of cancel each other out a little bit. But that would be my one concern. Like I've seen some overs already on people like Brandon Miller, which I like it. I understand why the shot volume should be there, but like, it's going to be hard for me to get to overs. I think it's going to be a slower pace game with a lot of defense. And I'm pretty sure the total shows it. I don't remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's very low. Let me see. Yeah, 213. So it's like, you know, I'd be careful in a 213 total game with so many guys lined at 20 points. You know, it's like that's a little trickier for me personally.
Yeah. And I don't know if we have Embiid news yet. I haven't been obviously very much checking NBA. I don't see any lines up for him. So, I mean, Tyrese Maxey to the fucking moon, I guess. Jesus Christ. 33.5 points minus 118. Yeah. And honestly, he's probably doing it, to be honest. Like, yeah, this defense fucking sucks.
Yeah, I really thought about Maxey under last night, honestly. It was at like 31, and now back-to-back, it's gone even higher. My only thing is I just had Jokic, right, under in 29.5, and it was easy against the Jazz. Like they played ball denial. They were like anyone but Jokic. Yeah,
you can't really ball deny a point guard.
Well, in a way, but Jokic is also like the primary initiator of the offense. Like, sure, he doesn't dribble the ball down, but you can absolutely blitz every time he tries to get in the pick and roll, just send 2 at him. Like, I get he can still pull up from 3, you know, and kind of negate that a little bit more than like a Jokic can. But man, like 34. I get the thing is though, it's like who else is going to score any points?
I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, and it's not like I would have more of an issue with it if it was in Utah. You know, like if it was like a elevation game or it was a back-to-back on the road. I mean, you're at home here. I mean, it's not like we're having to travel too much. And I'm pretty sure it's under 10, right? For spread, it's like 8.
I think so. Because it's hard to call it a blowout when
that's what I'm saying.
So I gotta look at this. Like, do the Sixers have shooting off the bench that I'm forgetting? Like, let me pull up this fucking rock because I'm like, I want to bet on someone in this game. You know what I mean? But it's like,
with a total like this, I'd probably scoring 260 points.
Yeah. So Edgecombe got injured with back soreness last game, so he's a big questionable. I guess Grimes would step up and make sense. And then I guess off the bench, someone that hasn't played much recently, I think maybe Trenton Watford could maybe be someone that gets some good run here against the Jazz team that's kind of bad in the interior. But Yeah, I'm just kind of desperation mode, just looking for someone to bet on in this game, because like the Jazz suck. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm absolutely not getting to maxi 34. Like, I can't make it that high. And I guess Cameron Payne is the backup point guard. So, if anyone wants to bet on Cam Payne, good luck, but I don't think I'm
gonna. Yeah, that is a trip. That is a absolute trip to try and do that. That'll be a fun one there. But no, I think we got some decent games tonight. I know you're kind of going into the weed games as well, into that low level game, even though Portland, obviously, I do like them. I do enjoy betting on Portland. Just the whole Denny situation kind of puts a damper on it. But I will kick it over to you to start us off with our long shot. I think both of ours are on the same price.
Sounds good. We got Santi Aldama, 3 threes plus 375. He's only played poor. Actually, I should preface this. I don't know if he's going to play today. Honestly, if you gave me a percent that he'd play, I'd say 40%. I'm not super confident he's going to suit up. But all the reports yesterday was, hey, he's good to go. He's good to go. He's going to play. He's making his return. And then last second, they're like, never mind. But then we've seen guys come back. They kind of space out who gets back on the first leg and who gets back on the second leg. So maybe that's what they're doing here. Maybe they're saving him to get, a little bit more usage, like with a couple other guys sitting or something. I don't really understand what's going on with him. He's been out for a while now, probably like a month at this point. So there is a chance he sits. If he does sit, I am a big fan of Taylor Hendricks as a replacement, but he's not currently listed. So Aldama's, kind of up in the air on if he even plays right now, but he's currently lined. And if he does play, I think it's a good matchup, right? Because what have we talked about with the Grizzlies? They don't have a center, right? They've not been playing a center. Aldama would be coming back and essentially playing their small ball center role, likely starting. In my opinion, I would see it's very unlikely that he plays more than like 25 minutes in this game. I think you could probably slot him in for like 22 to 25. That seems like solid. So you're still probably like, so why the fuck do we want to play this then? Well, Donovan Clingan is like the most predictable defensive player in the league, right? He's huge. He plants himself under the rim and he does not leave, right? That's his zone. He's locking down. They play the deep drop. And they're going to let guys take those outside shots, right? And last time Aldama played in the same matchup, he went 3 for 6 from beyond the arc, their only matchup against Portland so far this year. When you look at even him in like lower minutes games, right? His last game, I believe he only played like 22 minutes about a month ago. He still got up 5 3-point attempts in that one. The volume has been pretty consistently good from him from beyond the arc all year. But like the Grizzlies can't rebound with Clingan, right? They just can't. Like obviously he's lined at 13.5 today, right? And it's for good reason. So what do you do when you don't have a 7-footer, you can't sit down there and battle with him? You got to spread the floor as much as possible. You got to exploit the weaknesses that he brings, right? And that's the lack of mobility. It's allowing some of those outside shots. And that's what Aldama does. He's a stretch big, So it's one of those spots where like the minutes probably won't be like amazing if he does suit up tonight, but his role should be pretty fucking clear. It's like you go stand in that corner and you make someone respect you. And, if someone has to then run out to get him, then he's going to pass it to someone else and create a lane. Like you got to shoot from outside. That's the way that I think they're going to attack this game, a little bit more of a spread offense. You're not going to win in the trenches here when you got a guy like Clingan on the other side. So in my opinion, that's how they approach this game. Whether it's Aldama or whether it's Taylor Hendricks, like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I would be a fan either way. But yeah, I think that's just basically what you got to do here because I don't see the other alternative. I mean, Clingan's live for like 2020 tonight. The Grizzlies are truly that bad in the paint with no center. So I don't know how else you kind of approach this kind of game. And I think Aldama, like I said, he was supposed to come back yesterday. So I don't really he was pretty much like every site had him up. All the things were good to go. And then kind of last minute was like, oh, never mind. So I don't really know what that entails, for his health. But yeah, I think he's lined everywhere right now. And I think if he plays, I think this is a good look.
Yeah, dude, it's very interesting to me now with Clingan kind of doing his thing these last couple of weeks, like how fast a narrative can change on a player. right? I mean, no one was really talking about him at all. Now this dude's just fucking going crazy and now getting put into like, this dude should have been a top 2 player picked in the draft, and everybody was giving him shit for drafting him that early as a center who really doesn't shoot. Obviously, he does shoot now. He is able to step out, which is obviously a big new part to the game. But I remember when he was coming out, they're like, why would you draft a center that's a primary center in this day and age, right? You got to have him be able to be a stretch, be able to do all this. And, I mean, just shout out to him, man. He's been fucking awesome. He's been really good. Obviously, the injuries on the Blazers help, right? Losing Denny, Scoot being out for some of the year, with Shaden Sharp now being out, Drew Holiday being, nothing more than 30 minutes usually. So it's kind of all worked out pretty well, right? It's just kind of matching up when they need him, and he's been showing out. So.
Yeah. I mean, and one thing too is part of Klingen's game out of the combine was that a lot of scouts did believe that the 3-ball would come for him, like with his shooting touch, with his free throw numbers, and with private workouts. Like a lot of I felt like No Ceilings NBA, I think they do the best draft content. So I follow them the closest. A lot of smart people were kind of thinking like he's not going to be, a high volume 3-point shooter, but like he's doing this year, he's able to step out, shoot at a good rate, kind of like the Joe Val kind of like method of like just knock down 1 or 2 a game at 40%, and that's something they got to respect from now on. So definitely agree with that. Klingen's been great, and it's both him and Edey. The advanced stats love both of those guys in terms of their on the court, off the court impact, their defensive versatility. The problem is just you're then structured to play a very specific kind of basketball when those guys are in the game, right? Like you're not as flexible as these, switch big lineup, like have, Bam Adebayo guarding the point guard because he can, kind of lineups. Like it's definitely different and it can be a bit restrictive, but obviously if the guy's good, it's going to be worthwhile. And then, hey, if you're ever actually in the fucking playoffs, which is the goal, then you're one of the few teams that might actually have more of an answer for some of these, dominant kind of bigs as well. Although I will say Klingen is kind of food for Jokic. I'm not going to lie, because Jokic can work outside of just the rim. He can work in the mid range as well and stuff. So that's the only thing. Like Jokic, I think dropped 48 when they played a couple of weeks ago, and it's like he'll probably do that in the playoffs too. But obviously Klingen has a lot of time. He's a young guy,
Yeah, I think it'll be funny when we finally get that Edey matchup with him and we actually get to see that for real. Because you can't really post Edey. He doesn't move. Like, he's just a fucking brick. He's a fucking brick. So, hey, I'm ready to ladder that up to 5 threes for Klingen in that game, bro. I'm ready to ladder that up to 5.
That'll be fun. That'll be a big screen game whenever that comes. 100%. I'm ready to watch the Twin Towers go at it right there. So I'm excited for that game.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting seeing Klingen try to post him and try to back him down. And even if you move him 1 foot, I mean, you got to take that as a positive with how that's going. So, I will bring you guys over to some college basketball. We got our play of the day today. In Horizon League, we got the tournament started up last night. Hey, I got to give my quick shouts to my boys, IUPUI, Indy. We gotta give the shout out there. They were the most fun team, in my opinion, to watch in college basketball this year, if you're an overbetter. Because they don't play a fucking lick of defense. And they just run. And they were the last seed in the Horizon. They were horrible. But man, dude, they were fun because they just kept it close enough that they would foul with like 2 minutes left and try to get it to stay close. Mm-hmm. You gotta love that, dude. I think that game, I had the over 170 in that game on it was either yesterday or the day before. And that shit flew over, and it was with like 2 minutes left. It ended up almost 200 because these dudes just keep fouling. I love teams like that. That is like, we always still have a chance. I hate it when I have an under, but I like it when I'm betting over. So I'm going back into that same conference, Horizon League. Oakland facing off against Northern Kentucky tonight. First round for them, first game of the tournament, which is why I didn't want to play the first half. Because it is their first game of the tournament. Maybe we see a little bit of some nerves early on in this game, but kind of want to go off of some of these other games because I feel like I get a lot of people messaging me with like game log watching and looking at like the prior matchups and stuff like that. And sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. The last one doesn't, right? but it was 76-65 when Oakland went to Northern Kentucky. So way under this total, right? Way under at 141. I will say that might have been the worst shooting I've ever seen attempted in a game. We had 22% from three. 22%. Oakland gives up about 34% from three. Northern Kentucky was 9 for 40. 43s put up in that game. Oakland was 5 for 18. We had 62% from the free throw line from Northern Kentucky, which way under their season average there. 71 for Oakland, which is still under their season average. Northern Kentucky put up 73 shot attempts in that game. 73 shot attempts and only scored 65 points. I do expect to see a lot better shooting, especially in the paint. 27 total offensive rebounds in this game in the first matchup, so a lot of opportunities to grab the offensive ones and put it back in. Got to hit the free throws. I understand that, but you start looking at these guys on both sides. They got 5 10-point scores for Oakland. We have 4 13-plus scores for Northern Kentucky. Both of these teams extremely, extremely fast. Oakland 54th in the country. Horribly defensively. Horrible. 291 in the country defensively. And that's what I keep coming back to is we just saw this team absolutely suck on the offensive end against a team that is not good defensively. So it wasn't that. It was just they were missing open looks, missing shots. Again, Northern Kentucky is always in the top 50 in terms of pace. They're middle of the pack and everything. And I'm just expecting a lot better shooting performance here, right? Also, free throws, 25 total turnovers. Things that I like is we had 25 total turnovers, but that turned into 32 fast break points. I'm expecting to see that way higher than that, way higher, getting these guys in transition. That's where they want to be. Both these teams thrive in that opportunity to be out in front, run. This is, I think Oakland was the 5 seed, so this would be the 5-7 matchup. But they're averaging 83 a game. They're giving up 82 a game on the Oakland side. Northern Kentucky is going to run every chance they get. I believe their top scorers, Donovan O'Day, 19 a game. They have a couple other guys who shoot 37, 38% from three. So do expect to see regression come a little bit because I don't expect them to be missing this many open looks. Also, Oakland is pretty good, man. Greg Campy's a good coach. We saw him in the tournament a couple years ago, right? We got to see them win a couple games in the tournament with Jack, whatever his name, Galkey, I think it is. He's from around here in Wisconsin as well. All those dudes are just chuck threes, right? So they got Robinson, who's 17 a game on that side. Again, we have some high-level shooters on this team that I think are going to shoot a lot better than that first matchup because, like I said, that first matchup was just an absolute – or their last matchup was just an absolute shit show. First game at Northern Kentucky was 159 in that game. And, again, when you go into that one, really didn't shoot that well. And it got to 159. It hit this number. And in that game, Northern Kentucky shot 23% from three. And it still hit 6 for 26. So I'm expecting to see it. You can look at a couple of these more recent Northern Kentucky games. They are shooting over 30% in these games. And against Oakland, they're just staying off. So Oakland on the season is averaging about 34% three-point percentage allowed. Northern Kentucky is horrible at guarding three. So that kind of, makes it a little bit better too because Oakland should be able to get open looks whenever they want and be able to score in the paint, right? That's what we really need to see. And again, 31 fast break points on only 20 turnovers in the first two games combined. So the first game combined. So I'm expecting run and gun. I'm expecting quick shots up right away. And I'm expecting Northern Kentucky to shoot better than 22% from three-point line. And even, like I said, 159 in that first game this year. And that was with them shooting 26% from three. So sign me up. I like the over here. I'm expecting a little bit better shooting performance.
Yeah, like what you're saying about the shooting regression right there. And I forgot Oakland was had that little moment there with the Jack, whatever his last name is. That guy was, yeah, he was fun, man. That was a fun game when he just, how many threes did he hit? Like fucking 12 or something like that. I mean, just an insane shooting performance. And they got like progressively more difficult as the defense was like, oh shit, we can't let this guy shoot. He's taking like off balance, like, you know, catch and shoot behind a screen like 40 feet and still just money. That even got him a what do you call it? A summer league invite. I remember betting on him in the summer league as well after that. He's probably working at like State Farm now. It's probably calmed down a little bit. The hype is past as we get new March heroes every year. But that was fun, man. That'll be one that we look back on in like 15 years and be like, you remember that Oakland upset? That was fun. That was a good little run they had there. So hey, I love teams that chuck threes. You know, it sounds like they still live by that mindset a little bit here. And like you said, it seems like it's unlikely that they're going to shoot in like the low 20s again on the Northern Kentucky side. So yeah, like the spot.
Yeah, and you got to make sure you remember this is Oakland. They are in Michigan. This is not Oakland, California. Got to make sure I give you that so they know what you're talking about. I will say Northern Kentucky has shot 35% or higher in their last 3 games from 3. So they are not just horrible. They just have had 2 games against Oakland. And maybe it still goes. Maybe it does, and maybe we just get fucking smoked on this bet because they just when they see Oakland's colors, they just can't shoot the 3 ball on the Northern Kentucky side. But I'm telling you, dude, they went up against Wright State and made 10 threes against the number 1 team in this conference. I will say, if you want a little futures, I did bet Robert Morris to win this conference. I did bet Robert Morris to beat Wright State out in this conference. It's plus 300 right now if you want to grab that. I do like Robert Morris, one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country going out there. I do like Robert Morris to make it to the dance and take down this conference tournament. So if you want a little quick future, we got 30 something of you guys in here. If you want to go lock that in, this would be the time to do it before the tournament starts.
Yeah, I totally forgot this was in Michigan too. That's a good point because I got a lot of Michigan family.
That's why I thought that you knew that. That's why I brought it up.
I mean, I'm sure I did when they brought it up 3 years ago or whatever. But that's not the part of Michigan that my family. We're a little more northern than that, you know. But no, I totally forgot. It's funny, college is like that. There's so many like, where the fuck is that school again? You know. But yeah, hopefully you get another. I mean, it's probably not going to be Oakland this year, but hopefully someone gets a run for us this year. Because it's always a good time. It's always good to root for the underdog.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably think it's like St. Louis or something like that. It's just a lot of these teams just don't have as good of athletes, right? That's what really kind of beats you. But, I mean, you just got to get hot. Got to get hot from 3 at the right time, and you can get these games. So let's get a quick recap in here, Stu, and we'll get everybody on their way.
Sounds good. I got Santi Aldama 3 plus 3s plus 375. Like I said, he might sit. Then you just get your money back. It's really no big deal. If he does, I do like Taylor Hendricks points as a pivot. But we'll see what the situation, what that is as, you know, we get closer to game time here. And also Tyrone said Golke's in the G League still. Good for him. Hell yeah. I didn't know he would if he'd catch on for that long, but that's dope. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, sir. And I'll be rolling with Oakland, Northern Kentucky over 158.5 at minus 116. Yeah, I think the Bucks got them for a little bit. I don't know if they still have them, but I know they had them for a little bit around here because he is from Pewaukee, which is 10 minutes from where I live. So just pulling up threes. So pulling up threes even in high school. So, but yeah.
I bet him in the summer league, you know. We need to be able to bet on 2A guys again, too. That's really killed me in the NBA this year is you can't bet on 10-day or 2-way contract dudes. Like, even if they're in the starting lineup. Like, Washington, we fucking signed Julian Reese from Maryland.
Yeah.
And we just can't bet on him. And he's starting center, playing 30 minutes a game. It's like, come on. Like,
he's really like a legit dude right now, yeah.
One guy messed that up for everyone. Like, come on. But yeah, either way, it is what it is. At least we got Angel Reese at our games, like cheering on the Wizards and shit. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, we need some PR over here. You know, it's good. I'm like, why is the social team not posting this more? It's like, come on.
That means you're going to just pick up another center, Wendell Carter Jr., to come up to and you get another center that you don't need to go to Washington now because he wants to be there for his girlfriend's brother.
No, that's the thing though. And Carter sat. We played the Magic too. It was going to be brother versus boyfriend for her yesterday, but he sat. I wonder, hey, maybe not a coincidence. He wasn't even on the injury report earlier in the day. Funnily enough, they're probably just like, we can beat these fucking losers without our center. Like we can throw Mo Wagner and Goga out there because I love Goga. I don't know why he just gets perma benched every team he goes to. Man, Goga like starts hot every year, plays like 20 minutes a game. He's like looking good, and then suddenly like just DNP, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It's like the dude's good. I don't know, or at least not terrible. You know, he kind of
not bad enough to just not play.
Yeah, exactly. Like freaking what's his name? That finally is catching on. Jay Huff. Jay Huff would go everywhere and be like, okay, and he'd be like, why is this guy not like at least a backup center or something? And then he finally caught on and he's doing okay. I think that happens to Goga, you know, next year, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just his infinite cycle there. But yeah, either way, you know, Washington, we suck. So it is what it is. I want to bet on fucking Sharif Cooper. That's the guy. He just comes in, chucks up like 20 shots a game. He's only like 6'1", and he just gets the job done, but you just can't bet on him, which is just a bummer. But, you know, hopefully we can change this next year. Maybe we'll see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I got to dip out. I got to get on out of here, guys. So we appreciate you guys joining us on a Wednesday. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We'll be able to get to those for you. Friday, normal show, normal time, ready to go. Decent slate across there. Maybe we even talk some UFC here, Stu, because we got a decent card this weekend. Finally, I feel like weeks after we've been waiting for this. So hopefully we'll be back and ready to go, normal time, and hopefully cash some tickets for you guys. So have a good rest of your day, guys. We'll see you on Friday back, ready to cash more tickets with you. So have a good one. See you soon.